to the second installment of the Commission's Insider Report. All your league information here in one place. Nice new graphic I got set up there for you guys. No expense spared down here in the Commission's Cave to bring you the most professional looking insider report that we can get out to you. Just to let you know, inside this episode we're going to go over the individual scoring explained for the defensive player system and how I came up with those numbers. Also, we're going to, I got a video made up to go over picking your keeper. Just the time of recording here, I think only 4 or 5 of us have locked in our keepers. And going through the website is not the easiest thing to do or locate, so I just made a little video. It's not the greatest, but it'll get you to where you need to be if you're having trouble figuring out how to keep that keeper. Just to let you know, keeper has to be locked in, I believe, 1 hour prior to our draft start, or the ESPN will pick one for you. For the Team 4 side, the league will drop somebody in there for you, so you don't have to worry about picking a keeper. And also, in the later on here, we'll have an interview with Jethro's Heroes owner, Blair Basil, that I took at the ballpark a couple of weeks ago. And now to get you in the mood for the upcoming season, here's the best plays of 2015. Enjoy. Talk to you.
It is deflected and intercepted. Jimmy Smith has it. He's going in for a touchdown.
And Marquise Lee makes the grab off the deflection.
Throws back of the end zone, and Garrett Graham with a great catch for a Houston touchdown.
End zone. Did he catch it? Touchdown. Pass and a one-handed grab. What a play. Jarvis Landry. The greatest catch I've ever seen.
Antonio Brown, look at him go.
Makes a man miss, still going. Intercepted. And Andre Howell with the pick. Manning looks left. Intercepted by Woodson. At last he got Peyton. He is Superman.
He looks to throw downfield. There's Mariota. Touchdown, Titan.
Humphrey Wilson's going to dive. He's still on his feet. Bounces out over the 30. Wilson has got a first down. Great effort by Jameis Winston. Holy mackerel, what a run. Oh, my word.
Cuts it back and is able to slip away from everybody. And look at this run.
Give to Gurley. Hennessy being chased. They're not going to get him. Gurley running left. Got it. He got it. He's in. Wow. Marvin Jones sticks out the football. Touchdown. Oh, baby, he is hot today. Oh, my goodness, the legend just goes on. What a run by Cam Newton.
Somersault for the touchdown.
Goes flying.
First, he dives inside the 5. Oh, what a hit.
Slam down. Keenan Robinson. Here comes Watt with no helmet. Makes the sack on Alex Smith. Here comes Mack, and he's going to get him again. He got Osweiler for his 5th sack of the game.
Will Hill is going to win the game on a blocked field goal. Unbelievable.
Breeze has thrown 7 touchdowns in this game.
Omaha.
Peyton Manning has the most passing yards in NFL history.
And that is 17 catches for Antonio Brown.
Rolls right, throws it up for grabs to the end zone. Jump ball, Dez Bryant on a prayer.
And William Peterson is loose.
Kick is up. It is good. And the Hayes in the bar.
Left side for Del Beckham Jr. Makes a diving catch in the end zone. Touchdown Giants. What a catch.
Flies it downfield. He's got Landry. Makes a move on one man or another.
Wow.
You gotta see that on the highlights.
Lynch is going to throw it back to Russell. Touchdown! Seahawks, what a catch!
Up the ladder, over the top. Incredible catch in his lap.
Touchdown, Browns! Nearly intercepted. It's batted instead to Delaney Walker. Touchdown, Titan!
The ball is pulled in by Franco Harris.
Tyree makes the catch.
Going long. Pearson makes the catch. Touchdown.
Snap to Rodgers. Scrambles to his left. Under pressure. Rolling right. Escapes. Rainbows high and deep into the end zone. And it is caught. A leaping touchdown catch is made. And the Packers have won.
Unbelievable.
Okay, here's the explanation for our individual defensive player, or IDBs. This is a new category we've set up this year, replacing our head coach. So, first off, we're going to award 4 points per sack. A sack will actually turn out to be a 5-point play because even though you have 4 for the sack, it's also a tackle, so it'll tack on another point for that. Not sure how ESPN will score that, so I'm going to have to wait and see the first game or so. But according to what I've researched, that's the way it should go. It's a 5-point play, basically. ESPN might not, so we'll have to see. So I can't guarantee it'll be a 5-point play right off the bat, so we're going to score it as a 4, hopefully make it a 5-point. Just keeping in mind, sack leader last year had 17.5 sacks. Most every season. The most ever in any season was Michael Strahan, guy with the gap between his teeth. He had 22, and the sack average is on about 3.2% of snaps. There will be a sack. The 4-point system increases the value of the outside linebacker as well in a 3-4 defense. We're going to give 6 points for blocked field goals, blocked punts, and blocked point after attempts. It's extremely rare. There's one in just over every 700 snaps. So 6 points is a good reward for the guy who was able to block that. 5 points for an interception. Leading INT guy last year had 8. And no player in the NFL has ever had more than 9. So individual stats for that would, 8, that would 5 points. That's 40 points he's generated for you in that position all season. And also for a deep back, he'll get you points. Tackles the guy that catches the ball, or he defends against the pass, which we'll explain a little later. 2 points for a fumble recovery, and we got with 4 points for a forced fumble. Give them more points for forcing the fumble than picking it up, because 9 times out of 10, the guy knocking out the ball isn't the same guy picking it up. So don't really want to reward a player who just happens to be standing in the area when the ball takes a weird bounce off the turf and he picks it up. So the points will initially, the bigger points, the 4 points, go to the guy who forced the fumble. 2 points for the guy who's lucky enough to pick it up. I'm hoping that the guy who forces the fumble that does recover his own, it'll give you a 6-point play there. 10 points for safety. So if your player makes a tackle on the other team's end zone, gets a safety, that's good for 10 points. Does seem like a lot, but to put it in perspective, over the last 3 seasons, there's been one safety for every 2,128 snaps. Put that in perspective, the average team has about 1,000 snaps in the entire season. So we're looking at almost one safety per team every 2 years. So 16 safeties maybe in a year. So extremely rare. So we're going to reward it with 10 points. We're going to give 1 point for a solo tackle and half a point for an assisted tackle. That is standard in almost every league. So we're going to go that way. The solo tacklers are based on the most, if not all, individual defensive player scoring systems. Solo tackles are recorded on almost 80% of the snaps. And assisted tackles are recorded on 22% of the snaps. And we're just going to have the half a point for an assisted tackle. Just rewards a player who's involved around the ball and getting in on the play. We're going to give 1 point for pass defended or deflected. And the top player last year had 26 defends. So not a lot in the deep backs, but it's the third highest scoring position with a pass defended after tackles and assisted tackles. It occurs on 8.3% of the snaps, and it's 2.5 times more likely it'll be a defended pass than a sack. Giving them a point as defending against the ball, some leagues don't even use this. It adds the scoring opportunity for the defensive backs, giving them equal footing with the linebackers and inside linebackers, who are usually the highest scoring guys in the standard system league. 6 points for a touchdown. That is pretty standard as well. The stat I would have liked to have used this year, it's not available to us through the ESPN system, is tackle for a loss. It rewards the guy who gets through the front line, grabs the running back or in the backfield or whatever. So ESPN doesn't have that in their options, so I have sent them an email asking whether or not they could put that in the system for maybe next year for us. I'll let you know if that changes. So in summary, the system is highly amended from the default system that ESPN offered. The system that they normally offer really only rewards people like J.J. Watts and those Clay Matthews, people like that. Mostly defensive ends, linebackers, inside linebackers was it, because most of them were targeted heavily towards just the tackles and not the other things. So with us boosting some of the other stats and adding the defended pass, it'll increase the potential for other players on the field. So hopefully this system will make the individual defensive player position on our rosters a valuable spot and reward the owner who puts in the time to research and draft that position successfully for his team. Standard scoring usually makes this a low scoring slot, much like a kicker or head coach. This system should bring them up in the points and, like I said, reward you throughout the season, hopefully, with some good scoring. Also, the system will put the deep backs corners on equal footing with the linebackers and defensive ends, who are traditionally set the leads for this position on most rosters. In no way will the individual defensive player's stats come up to have equal footing with your quarterback, wide receivers, or running backs, as the NFL is an offensive-driven team and we don't want the defense to highlight the scoring. What it should do is spread the defensive points out more evenly and make inside linebackers not the only choice to come draft day. This system will hopefully reward all big impact defensive players in the league. Lastly, the system can and will be reviewed for the 2017 system, and we'll take owners' input to see how going forward with it in the further seasons. The new position for us should generate more research on the owner's part when picking a winning coach over picking a winning coach last year. This new position should generate more research on the owner's part, more than just trying to pick a coach who was going to win each week last year. Best of luck in drafting the individual defensive player, and hopefully some excitement will come from this new slot on our rosters. Okay, I'm just going to show you how to use the system here with ESPN to get your keeper and lock it in before the draft. So right now the setting is set that you need to have your keeper locked in 1 hour prior to draft time, and our draft time is set now. As you can see, snake draft, it's set for Tuesday, September the 6th this year, and it's going to be at 9:30 Eastern time. So it's 7:30 here, but we'll get you guys at the place here for 7 o'clock, please. Thank you. So go in here, it says League, My Team, Players, Standings, Scoreboard, and LM Tools. Click on My Team. It'll bring up your team, not mine. So I have the Tuscany Mayhem teams come up here, and in here it says edit pre-draft player rankings, edit auto pick strategy, and select keepers. So click on select keepers. It'll open up this screen. It will have the list of your players available to you, and you can go through, pick whichever player you want that's on the side here. You just put a click in it. I've DeAndre Hopkins, who I've picked, so I click on that. Down at the bottom here it says submit keepers. Click that, and it'll say keepers saved successfully, and that's it. If you go back into my team and do the up here in the smaller font, it goes roster, add players, draw players, watch list, trading block, team settings, keepers. If you click on the keepers, and it says, just brought this up, so it says keeper lock date not set. It has been set, so I'll go and make sure that is done. And it says view league keepers. If you click on that, it'll come up and let you know if you've kept yours. Right now, myself, Tuscany Mayhem has kept DeAndre Hopkins. Jethro's Heroes has kept Drew Brees, and Huey's Hogs has selected Antonio Brown. All the other owners have not picked theirs yet. So if you are looking to do that, that is the way to go with that. Thank you for your time. Okay, well that's it for the show. Any questions, you can drop me an email at the email down front here, or you can give me a shout anytime. And we're going to conclude this episode with an interview I did with the owner of the Jethro's Heroes, Blair Beisel, at the Ball Diamond a couple of weeks ago. We'll take a look at his outlook on the upcoming season, his keeper, and look at last year's season. Anyway, enjoy, and talk to you later on.
Yes, go.
Hi, it's Steve May, the commish for the Tuscany Gridiron Swingers. 2016 season's coming up here. We're going to draft in about 5 weeks' time. I'm sitting down with Jethro's Heroes owner, Blair. Blair, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Great. Enjoyed last season?
No, not at all. No, I sucked last season. Had a good team, but they were just underperformers. Injuries seemed to really get me down.
So this year we're going to go with the keeper. We've kind of not been able to do it just because new people coming into the team. Do you have any idea who you're going to grab this year and keep?
I do. I think I'm going to go with Drew Brees. I know he's 37 and he's been up there a while now, but he's old reliable. I still believe in the Brees.
That's it. He did come in the top 10 in the scoring points last year, so he is a good person to hold on to because I don't think he had anybody else in the top 10. Your brother had 2, so we'll see what mistake he makes and probably keeps his kicker. What are you looking forward to in this year's draft?
I'm thinking, well, obviously the new strategy is to get hammered before the draft.
Right.
So I think I'm going to have to buy some tequila, do some tequila shots, even though I hate tequila, but I think that's my strategy this year, to show up hammered.
Yeah, I thought that. We could see Mark get the limousine by earlier and get everybody out of it. We'll try to hook up a GoPro to his head for the day and see what happens there. Okay, looks that's about it for here. It's Steve May signing off. Have a good season.
All right, thank you. Good season, and I'm here to crush Nat.